I think that probably has a lot to do with colonialism, the kind of lasting effect of like the white presence in like African countries and the Americas, and like obviously the closer you are to the white Eurocentric standard of beauty, then like the more approval you get from like white people. I think that's what caused it.
That's probably really deep rooted and probably goes back to times of like imperialism, possibly beforehand, when the empire went. I know in my country, Sudan, South Sudan, when the British first went, they only worked with the northerners because they were lighter, and so that probably implemented like thoughts of, oh, I'm light skinned so I'm better, and that's just trickled down to today when we have graves of light skin versus dark skin.
I'm not quite sure. I reckon because dark skinned people like to mock each other quite a lot, then it sort of got to the point where light skinned people thought it was quite funny as well. So then they started mocking the dark skin, then it just turned into like little debates. Nothing really serious, but it is like the cause of quite a lot of banter.
I haven't lost friends, but there are some people that I've had to kind of reevaluate my relationship with them, because it's hard to keep a relationship with someone if you don't both have like the same vision or the same goals in life, and if you're achieving something higher and they just kind of want to be a waste man, you know, you might have to just cut that off. And do you?
I'll tell you what, I don't think I've lost people on the way though, really, because I think that usually happens when you start attaining a certain level of success, and I don't think at the moment I'm just a second year student at university, man. Although I have large ambitions for myself, I'm still yet to actualize them. But I think once you actually do start realizing the success which you yearn for, you start. It's clear who really are your true friends, or who really are just there to be with you while you're successful.
Oh, definitely. I've definitely lost friends on the way. Not as a bad thing, but I would say sometimes you lose people to find people that suit your lifestyle, your changes in your personality, and your life changes. So it happens to everyone, but yeah, it's always positive.
Yeah, I've definitely lost friends along the way, especially because, you know, when people ask you to go places and like socialise and stuff, but you can't because you've got work to do. If closest friends, they stick by you and they support you through it, but I guess they can't really be your friends if they're not with you on it.
It doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers a lot of people, because it's like, because they're successful, they feel that they've reached that stage where they can have like a white wife as a prize, as like a thing. It's like a sense of it's a symbol of their achievement, having a white wife, and it only gets annoying when it becomes like really common.
Okay, there's two parts to this coin. Yeah, the first part is, I mean, it could just be the guy just likes the white girl, he wants to marry him. Fine, that's completely fine. But I feel there are some men who marry white women because they think it's a status option, and it's just you have people who come and then they take it because they're successful and taking photos with white girls. They think, now I've made it. It really isn't that serious.
Okay, so when I was younger, I used to have an issue with it, because when I was at my little Malcolm phase, I used to have a big issue with it. Now, not so much, because I think, firstly, I've grown up realising that the one job rule is very much in effect, so a lot of the issues that the offspring of those relationships have, the same issues I have. So it doesn't make sense for me to have issues with them. Also, one thing I realised, I know mixed race people. So for me to be bitter towards those relationships essentially means I'm turning around to like my mixed race friends and saying you shouldn't exist.
In Malcolm X, they said it's because white people are easy, which I don't believe, because it's kind of awkward. But I don't know, maybe it's because in the back of your mind you might think it's taboo or something, and so you're more likely to go for something you feel like you can't have. It's just human nature.
I could say it's down to preference. I mean, but that's just really sugarcoating the whole thing. To each his own. Some people marry a white woman purely because of her character, while they can still be attracted to a black woman. It's just solely off the fact that, oh, this woman was made for me. But in some cases, some people just naturally have a preference for non-white women. It's that simple.
looking at literature, looking at art, we tend to associate darkness with masculinity and lightness with femininity. Like, it's a trope I've noticed, like, runs through a lot of books, like even in like classical art paintings, like the man is always slightly darker, the woman is always slightly lighter, and that's, we gender darkness and lightness, and that's a bit dodgy because it kind of like, it defeminizes like darker women and it emasculates like maybe lighter men. Like, I've noticed there's a lot like making fun of like light-skinned boys, like Drake, like, oh my god, he's so moist, he's so emotional, and like I don't know if that would happen if he were a darker man.
I know that there could be some tensions between natural hair versus weaves. I'm personally pro-choice as long as your hair's healthy, but I know some naturalists are very anti-weaves just because they feel the context of it is self-loathing, self-hatred, so that could cause rifts between black women.
Maybe it's because of weave or something, I don't know, it's always hair problems, issues, oh my weave's this and that.
Well, I think it's a matter of jealousy, and it could be jealousy about guys, it could be jealousy about hair, it could be jealousy about status, it could be jealousy about how you act. I mean, I've noticed sometimes you have some black women who just get jealous about anything. It could be the fact that you're wearing a different brand of bag than they are, and they also get jealous. And I mean, it's not as if you're as much imposing on their territory or something. I think some people just have a tendency to be jealous. I don't want to say all black women have tendency to be jealous. I would say some black women have tendency to be jealous.
I don't think it's just black women. It's women in general. I see it in a white woman, I see it in Asian women, I see it in black people. Reasoning, I think it depends what the issue is. I mean, I can't really say. At the same time, I think it's just characteristics that women have that creates this kind of thing. For instance, when a guy cheats on a girl, the way the woman works, they will talk about it. As in, when a girl cheats on a guy, it's not a very masculine thing to then go around and talk about it and scream all over Facebook about the issue. Do you know what I mean? They'd rather just go to the gym or something, and, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's more of the characteristics a woman has that kind of creates this kind of thing, I think.
I don't think it's black women, I think it's just black people in general, because we're so divided. Like, you've already got the lighties, you've got the darkies, you've got the Oreos. I don't agree with these terms, but these are terms that people use. We're such a like separate race that there's inevitably going to be competition within us.
In some respects, yes, because like, especially with Africans, I noticed that a lot of Africans, they're more inclined to be, you know, empower themselves, whereas with Caribbean people, and I'm half Caribbean, there's always, oh, woe is me, slavery this, slavery that. Instead of getting over their issues, they need to empower themselves and move forward. I'm not saying this for everyone, but I'm saying the vibe I get from that culture, especially the Caribbean culture, is like that. But overall, I think, yeah, black people love each other, definitely, but still got a way to go, yeah.
I think it's getting better. I think, like, even now, our own generation, we don't support each other a lot because of, I think, because of the generation of our parents. Because I think, like, if I think of my parents, for example, when we watch the news and there's some crime done by some black man, my mom would be like, oh, probably it's a Ghanaian. But in the same way, I know that a Ghanaian family, when they watch the news and they see a black guy do some crime, they will probably say, oh, that's going to be a Nigerian, innit? That's how it is. Even in Nigeria, like, different tribes are against each other, like, historically, because of the history of the country, like, Yorubas against Igbos, Igbos don't like Hausas, Hausas don't like Igbos, even in politics. So I think we still have that kind of feeling in our own generation, but I think with time it's getting better, especially when we are abroad. Like, we're all struggling, we all are at the same level. So I think with time we'll get better.
No, because I think we're a bit too concerned with what other races think of us generally. Because like, whenever I'm looking at like racial discussions on the internet, like Racialicious, Tumblr, whatever, it's always like, oh, you know, what will white people think of us, what will Asian people think of us? I'm like, we need to sort of decenter like the white gaze. Like, we need to like sort of stop thinking about what they're thinking of us, I think, and just focus on us.
I'd say yes. Do you know? I'd say yes because I've seen the sort of support whereby I see someone who's grown from someone who comes from Cameroon or my city, and generally people know when he has the potential to be a successful football player. People generally take care of him. They make sure that wherever he goes, he's taken care of. I've seen that sort of support, and everybody is happy for him when he's successful. But at the same time, there are equally people that will want you to fail. There are equally people that want you to fail just because they're not, they don't have any progress in their lives. And I think it's not even down to just our people. I think that's down to just human nature.
Has fallen off, but knotted itself onto another strand.